local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
You gonna have fun? Yeah. Welcome and good morning. Today you're going to meet two families who each fought a courageous battle for their youngsters' lives with an often fatal blood disease known as childhood leukemia. Joining us in our first segment is 6-year-old Krista Hill. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
And her mom.
Good morning.
Dessa. Good morning to you. Thank you both for being here. I have to tell the viewers that Krista was totally fascinated, and the monitor's on. She's totally fascinated with her image as it plays out on camera. So there, look, Krista. Wow. Do you like that? Yeah. This is a very compelling story. Can you tell our viewers kind of how this whole thing started and unfolded for you?
Yeah, we had gone in to the doctor for an earache for Krista, and she had been having earaches for a little while, that it just reoccurring earaches. And so, you know, it was just going to be an earache.
Right.
We were just going to get an antibiotic, and hopefully it'd take care of it, and hopefully we wouldn't have to deal with any more earaches. But I had a friend that told me she might possibly have to have tubes put in her ears. It might be something
For drainage.
as bad as
my
that.
grandson had the
Right.
same issues with ear infections. Yeah.
Yeah. So the doctor was talking to us, and she looked at Krista and she said, you know, she's a little pale. I'd like to do some blood work if you don't mind. And of course my husband and we said, yeah, go ahead. And so she came back just minutes later, and she said, she tried to explain it to us without really telling us.
So she knew at that point?
She did know, but she didn't tell us. But she did try to explain to us that 2 of Krista's blood cells the counts were very low, and that 1 was very high. We have 3 different kinds of cells. And so 1 was high and 2 were extremely low. And she told us to go home, pack for several days, and go right to Chapel Hill. She said it's not an emergency, but it is urgent.
Do you remember that? You do? How old were you then? Do you remember? Do you know
5.
You're 5 today. Oh, you're 6 today. How old were you when you first went to Chapel Hill? Do you remember? She was
3.
She was 3.
She had just turned 3. She had like a month afterwards.
Were there other signs that you were missing that now you look back and say, oh?
She would lose her color in front of
She
me.
would.
She would her lips would turn white, and I just hoped that she was just, you know, needed more vitamins, or
Right.
You know, I just hoped that there was something small.
So you went to Chapel Hill, and then what?
Yeah, we went to Chapel Hill, and while we were in the emergency room, and I was sitting down with the man to.
Who was there? You, your husband?
My husband and I, and Krista, and our youngest, Aaron, was 8 months at the time. And when I was filling out our insurance information, possible leukemia came up on the screen. And the man turned to me and said, your daughter has leukemia? And
Just like that?
Just like that. That's how I found out. And so the only thing that I could say was, she better not. That's all I could say, because I was flabbergasted.
Did you understand what that meant?
Not really, no. We had really no clue, really. Very, very little knowledge on what leukemia was. So
when did you kind of grasp what this was about, and what options were you given?
Well, we found out we went back to the room and went into a conference room with her doctor and another woman, and they told us what they were looking into. And then the options that we were given were pretty much chemotherapy. There was only one option, chemotherapy to kill the cells.
For a 3-year-old child.
Yeah. Yeah, and she had to immediately receive blood and platelets. And
so did you stay in Chapel Hill? Or?
Oh, yeah, we stayed in Chapel Hill for 10 days, and she received blood and platelets. Her immune dropped down to nothing, and we were confined to her hospital room for several days. And which is really hard for a 3-year-old that was already tired of being in the hospital. She asked at one point if we were going to stay there forever.
She did?
She did, and that was hard just for her to even think that we would.
Were you fearful?
Well,
I mean, they tell you what, did you start looking, reading,
yeah,
going to the internet?
They gave
leukemia?
us a lot of information, and my husband had brought his laptop with us, so we started, I don't know what parent wouldn't find out everything they possibly could on everything. So we started looking up the, you know, just everything, and they have no idea how leukemia starts. They don't know.
Still.
Yeah, still. They have no idea how a child, anyone can have leukemia.
I did a little research, and I was shocked to learn that it's the biggest it's the biggest killer of youngsters and teens under 20 of any cancer.
Yeah.
Did that pop up on your radar when you were looking, and did that?
I'm sure it did. Right now, some of the information from back then, it was a blur. We're kind of in this weird daze where you cannot believe what is happening. You know, it's life changing.
How long? She's cancer free now. She's healthy.
It's been 10 months now. That she, since she quit.
So from she had almost 3 years of therapy.
She had a little over 2 years of chemotherapy.
Of chemo. Mm-hmm. What was the effect on her?
I mean, it's wide variety. I mean, she still to this day, it gets car sickness, which is something that began during that.
Do you remember when you were getting treatments? Did it make you sick? Yeah.
She stopped playing for several months, wouldn't play, just sat there, just wanted to watch movies and eat. She was on a steroid, and it made her hungry all the time, so we had to find new ways to distract her so that she could be put off a little bit longer without eating, because she just continued to eat. And she ended up losing her hair 3 times, which is rare, but...
Did that bother
You cut it once.
She thinks that I cut her hair once because I...
Did it bother you when you lost your hair?
What?
Did it bother you when you lost your hair? What'd you think? It grew back pretty though, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, she liked her long hair.
I mean, I can totally relate. Most young little girls do.
Well, she wouldn't even look at pictures of herself for a little while with her bald head, and she had gained some weight from the steroid, and she didn't even want to look at pictures of herself.
We're going to talk to you, and we have another family we're going to talk to in our next segment, but we'll bring you back in our 3rd segment, and we'll talk to you and the other mom about the experience too. So stay with us.
Okay.
When we come back, Sabrina Ward and her daughter Mallory are going to talk about their battle with this blood disease, childhood leukemia. Stay with us.